Guys, what it is your girl Kadlac. I am Kadlac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all fades to black. Yeah, hiss your girl Kadlac. So today I do have a guest with me on the line. We're basically going to be talking about a different form of injustice. I usually deal with criminal, justice and injustice, but today we're dealing with
Yeah.
owner and management in a community, that type of injustice. In injustice anywhere, people think that when something small happens to somebody else, whether that's their problem, let's not worry about that. But if we don't all worry about it, it can happen to all of us, and it does continue to happen to us because we don't do anything about it. Okay, so I'm going to let Mary tell her story, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Mary now. Okay,
Yeah.
Mary.
Yeah. Well, the way it is that I live in a 55 plus community. Um, I own my own home, but I rent the lot that my house sits on. So the majority of the people that live here are elderly, disabled um, people, and it's ran by the name of the company that owns the property is RHP Property, and
Okay.
the office manager, Rorimina Amario, is a convicted dangerous felon and has you know been convicted of bodily harm to other people. So when she don't like you or something, she stalks you. So even though I know what she's doing is wrong, it's like getting someone to listen to what she's doing, because it's like, as us being elderly and disabled, we're being written off. Every time you call to try to complain to someone like the building inspectors or any of that, they're not listening. Well, at the moment, she's stalking me. She has tried to illegally evict me off the lot and to take my house, when she found out that she could not do that because I am educated in law. So when she found out that she could not take my house, then she started stalking me, harassing me, retaliation. So this been going on now for over a year. I have very, very serious illnesses. I have cancer. I have sarcoidosis, high blood pressure, and cardiac arrest disease. But this woman will not stop. So when she found out that she could not evict me, they came out and cut down my own personal trees. One of the trees was my moringa tree, which I use for basically medicine, because it has a lot of health benefits to it. And I also made different types of products that I sold to help pay my bills. She cut that down. She cut down my palm trees, which is illegal in the state of Florida. So after she done all of that, she even flipped my water hose, because they have so many stray cats out here. Their urine is everywhere and cat feces are everywhere. So I always wash down my porch every month, because my form of cancer I have is lung cancer as well as asthma. So when they slit my hose, now I have to come out of my pocket to buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
So I have complained and complained to RHP Properties about the behavior of this woman, and they seem not to do anything about it.
Okay,
So
so where did it start? Where did the issue? I'm hearing that it's a lot of things going on, but where did it start with?
it started that when I got ready to move here. This was in 2016. The driveway was messed up, and I have to have mobility equipment, and use wheelchair or walker. I have to use a form of one of those if I'm, to say this. So before I moved here, they were were supposed to fix the driveway. So they did not fix it, and they basically are still not fixed, and this is 2022. So then in the midst of me, after I moved in here, from the outside started backing up into my house.
Oh, wait, now, hold on. That kind of blanked out. You said sewage?
Yes. And the thing is that the law that reruns on is not the same as the landlord-tenant law. Mm-hmm. Some of it incorporates, but not all of it. But the law that we have, since that these people own the land, that they're responsible to fix everything on the outside, as long as it's not of our, negligence. Uh-huh. So even though the district manager, which name is Chris, states that it's coming from the outside coming in, but refused to fix it and was trying to charge me $600 to fix it, which goes into his pocket and Rory Amaro's pocket. They are crooked people. So since I wouldn't pay that, I'm still having that issue. And this was last year that this started. So I went to a lawyer, actually legal aid. I went to legal aid to have them to help me. Uh-huh. Legal aid on the 1st of June of 2021 sent them a letter. So the letter went to the corporate office, but then the corporate office sent it back to the people that's responsible for fixing it.
So it wasn't supposed to. So that cued them that, oh, this is the person complaining, and that's kind of what started the whole, back and forth, because they went back and told the people. Okay.
Exactly. So it was like they first started off that when I first moved here, I was told that lawn service was included. And it sounds like a petty thing, but actually it's not. It's
not in Florida, because grass grows fast and you have all types of snakes and you can have any types of spiders and stuff in the grass. And then if you're not healthy enough to go out there and cut it in this hot Florida sun, then that's why you pay basically in your rent for those types of service. And I can imagine some 55 and olders would not be able to go out there and do yard work in that sweltering heat. So it would be a lot.
Correct. And this is one of the reasons why I chose this place, is because they offer full lawn service as far as cutting the grass, cutting the weeds and trimming the weeds and all of that. So I was receiving that from 2016 until July of 2021, which is exactly 1 month after they received
5 years.
The letter from the legal aid. So I don't know what they did to the lawyer that was a legal aid, but I was justly. It was what he did was, if he sent the letter to them, then they're supposed to respond to him, and he's supposed to respond to me. Mm-hmm. But he dropped my case because he stated that I was not responding to him. I said, well, what can I respond to you with? The people are supposed to contact you about what they're going to do, and you're supposed to contact me. Mm-hmm. So he was like, well, you dying anyway, so you just need to move. It's just what he told me. Well, so after that, it was
personal from legal aid. Because I think it's mostly volunteer. They're volunteer lawyers. So they basically are trying to do this in their spare time. And if it's, because I had an identity theft case where they were supposed to help me, and they dropped me right away, because it's like they wanted, that has to be something simple, or they just don't want to bother with it, because I don't believe that they're getting paid for that.
But it would have been a simple, because at that time I wasn't being harassed like this. Mm-hmm. I wasn't being harassed when I first went to them. I just wanted the stuff fixed, it hurt the way the driveway is messed up. It causes me so much pain because the driveway is like a downhill, and then at the bottom of it, it was tore all up.
Mm-hmm.
If I was riding in my wheelchair, and by that I have severe nerve damages in my hands will lock up on me. And if that wheelchair is going down that hill, then it can get stuck in the broken concrete and flip over and hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I would try to accept the pain and walk down it. So, because I do have a service dog. So I would just walk down it just to try to take the dog out. But it caused me so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing of, by me being, sarcoidosis, which is depresses my immune system, and the raw sewage is constantly coming back up into my house, and this is not mine. This is like other people's sewage also is coming back up into my house.
So now, I know you mentioned before about a boiled water notice. Does that have anything to do with that sewage problem?
I don't know, but one thing I do know is that they raised the lot rent,
mm-hmm.
and they raised it illegally because it's supposed to be reported to what they call the Department of Business, Professional, and Regulations. Now, when they raised the rent, instead of them fixing the water, because the pipes are rusted and everything,
mm-hmm.
sometimes the water mixes, I'm quite sure it's mixing in with the sewage, because sometimes the water comes out brown, and it stinks real bad. And then instead of them fixing that, they'll sit back and they pay off people to say, okay, well, it's okay. They'll tell us to boil the water, and then after a while they'll say, oh, the water's okay, but the water's not.
Mm-hmm.
The water's not okay. I have caught bacteria infection, just from bathing in it. So I have to have everything in my house filtered. I even one day forgot to turn the filter thing on to when I brushed my teeth, and the next morning my mouth was blistered and sore. I couldn't even swallow. And these are the things. They're not fixing anything, nothing in this part. They're taking our money. They're taking advantage of us. My neighbor's house next door is collapsed. The foundation underneath the house that holds it up has broken up into pieces. And instead of them fixing it, they put plastic around it. What they're doing is putting up new houses because they get commissioned to sell them. But the law states, technically, if you have a selling, you can obtain a real estate license, and you need one to sell 5 or more houses. You see? But the thing by me complaining, they probably figure that the owners will probably eventually figure out something is going on. So that's why they're trying to get me out of here, because not too many people know how to get in contact with the owners of the property.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you will file a complaint, at first, when I didn't know how, they would say, oh, she's crazy, she's just saying these things, and then they just shoo it off.
Now, this is a housing situation, but this sounds very close to the things that we go through within our loved ones in prison system. So it's sounding a lot like the systems of the world, that basically the bigger man basically just win whether they're doing the right thing by us or not. And basically they're actually services to us. We pay them. We pay for their salaries and this and that, but we're being mistreated.
Exactly. And see, one of the things that I figured out, and I am a pretty good judge of character.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that was going on out here is that I was like, there's no way that an owner as the size of these people are will allow some of the stuff that's going on.
Well, that's why they sign it off to the other people to micromanage it, and they're just out doing other stuff while they're handling it whatever way, necessary.
You
Yeah.
know, I just came out here to my mailbox, and now this woman has sent 2 different letters to me, and she will not stop.
Mm-hmm.
She, you know, I want really basically, I want for her to go ahead and take me to court, because when she takes me to court, she's going to be the one that's in trouble. And the reason for that is because the stuff that she's doing is illegal. Now, I'm quite sure everybody knows that if a landlord gives you a notice and they accept rent, the notice is no longer no good. So what she did was she sent a notice back in March, and this was a part of the harassment. Now, even this is a part of the harassment that she keeps trying to violate me for not cutting weeds when they're not cutting the grass. So
Okay.
even though I have proof of all of this, still, she's want to come at me. But see, let me tell you, this is what one of the problems, is that the regional manager of this property, instead of him, when I filed the complaint, right, okay, so instead of him investigating my claim, one of the people that I made the complaint against, he calls me with them on the phone, with that person on the phone, which is also a part of the situation of harassment. So when he took their
retaliation.
Right, when he took their side over mine, and he had this guy on the phone, then what is that saying? Go ahead and do what you want to do with her. Is what it is. Now, even though she knew when she sent me my rent back for June, the violation that she claimed was for March, but they accepted April and May rent. So that means that violation was no longer so good. But she sent back my rent and refused to accept any rent from me. So then she turns around and in retaliation, when I talked to, by me talking to this guy, after talking to the regional manager, they cut down my trees. Now, what I'm going to do is call Department of Agriculture, because my trees were dwarf stable palms, which is illegal to cut in the state of Florida. So they are Florida protected trees. It's up to $20,000 fine for each tree. There were 6 of them. And they cut down, like I said, my moringa tree. So I guess because I told them I'm going to sue, she's not going to work. So she turns around as a harassment the day after she cut down my trees, and she sent me a notice saying I owe June and July's rent and $40 for, first she said, weeding and trimming. Nothing in the letter that stated that she cut down my trees. Nothing. That's personal property damage. Okay? And anything over $1,000 is a felon.
Wait, hold on. So why is she cutting now? I thought she was basically on strike from cutting your yard. So because there
right.
wasn't there a period of time where she
happened.
Wouldn't touch your yard, and now she cut.
Exactly. Over a year. And I keep telling them, I have proof where she had not, because she was supposed to cut the grass.
Okay.
Over a year they had not cut my grass.
And then all of a sudden they cut it.
No. When I talked to the regional manager, so the district manager said, well, since you sick and everything or whatever, and you don't have nobody to cut it, well, I will do it for $40. Okay. That was only to cut the grass and the weeds. The grass is not my responsibility. Okay. But I do know the law states that it's only $15. That's why
So
I
you
said
were paying them to cut your grass,
when
and
he
then you had
right
to pay somebody else to cut it as well. So you're double paying for this maintenance of the grass.
no. This I'm double paid. I double paid them because it's included in my rent.
Yeah.
It's included in my lot rent. So when they don't do, because they were doing it before the letter last year. I have proof on video that shows her showing the man how to cut the weed. But they're not, I guess they think I'm stupid. So then she turns around on the video. Remember the video that you and I done last year? She said, we don't cut inside the stone. My palm trees were inside the stone. So I
And
don't
you
think
have pictures and proof of the palm trees and stuff inside the stones. Okay.
Yes. I have pictures before I moved here and after I moved here. And right before she cut these trees down. And they slipped my water hose. But for her to keep on, see, what it is, I'm going to tell you, she's trying to get me out of here because she's already trying to sell my house. I see people coming by, taking pictures, driving by slow, all of that. But what she don't realize is she won't stop. As of today, I'm going to make sure this is her last day working here. And the thing is that they tried to keep it a secret because as I was talking to the manager, the regional manager on the 25th of July, when I came home and found that they had cut my trees down, she had the district manager, when I sit there and I brought it up, I said, you have a convicted dangerous felon out here stalking people. And that's when he lied and he said, oh, that's a lie. We do a background check. I know she ain't got no. I said, it's an Orange County public record that states that she's a felon. So then that goes to show you that the owners of this property also don't know that this woman is a dangerous felony. And as the other night when I was looking into the records again to get the information for the regional manager, it says on there she had to take anger management and a drug test, and says she's not to be trusted because she's a dangerous, a very dangerous person. But see, the thing is that they out here and they frauding is what they doing. And they, and by that I know this information, they don't want me out here. It's like right now I'm outside, I had tick dog out. I'm looking at a property now that was worse than mine when they kept violating me. And this property been like this now for months. So, but I don't know if she's illiterate, mentally disturbed, stupid. I don't know. The violations that she gave me and was accepting my rent, Florida statute 835658 states that if you collect rent after when the landlord violates you and they collect rent inside of that violation, that is no longer no good. And another thing, on the 9th of June, when she sent back my rent, I spoke with the district manager, who also slipped up and said the same thing. So when I sent the email to the regional manager, with the regional manager, the owners of the property, and Todd Aldrich, when I sent that email, I sent back where she had violated the law. So I'm wondering if the regional manager understood what I sent him. So even though she have destroyed my property, she started harassing me. The law states you cannot evict no one but for rent, and if I cause some kind of hazardous problem or something to the property, when they are the ones that's out here jamming at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? So that's why I want her to go ahead and file her paperwork in court, so that way the judge can arrest her for putting false information. These letters and things that she's sending me is just it's a type of harassment that she's doing, and she's digging herself in a hole further and further. Now, since I came here in 2016, lot rent is due on the first of the month, paid no later than the 5th. I don't understand if she's retarded or
Oh,
something.
well, we
I know you
might
got
not
to
want to
catch that.
use that
Well,
word
I don't know
there.
if she has a mental problem and she's blocking stuff out, but I have a copy of every money order and check that I ever put in their Dropbox or ever handed them. And they
Okay.
all was paid on the 5th. So I don't understand that if she's that dumb to realize if we go to court and I show them all of that, it's going to put her as a liar. But you got the rent, you accepted it. And the law states that once you accept rent, whatever goes on, that's it. So she accepted the rent. So
Okay.
she tried to give me a late fee after she done destroyed my property. And she tried to give me a late fee. She tried to give me a late fee for August rent, saying it was late. And I paid it on the 5th. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the thing is that I'm sick of her harassing me. I'm sick of the retaliation and everything. And this is going on with, most of the African American people out here also. The black people out here, they catch hell in this place. And I'm hoping that
Well,
someone
also
that's out
age
here
as well,
listening.
because it's basically the owners are not, well, the managers are not as old as the community that they're serving. Correct? They're taking
Yeah, some of
kind
them
of.
are. Yeah, the
Oh,
regional
okay.
manager I think is like in the 60s, 70s or something. But I
All
just
right.
hope that somebody that's listening out to this here is some type of lawyer, some type of advocate or something that can do something about this. Because I already have called the police and filed a report against her for harassment. But it's like they don't care about the elderly. They don't. Nobody cares about the elderly. But I'm gonna have her locked up because I had enough.
Okay,
So
so I thank you for your time coming on and telling us your story and your concerns. Definitely, injustice anywhere. Because actually, even if it's not a 55 and older community, I've dealt with so much that apartment complexes do incorrectly, and it feels like they can just do what they want because then they threaten to evict you and stuff. And a lot of people, unless the whole community comes together, that one person is going to be just out like a sore thumb. We all have to start taking stands against these apartment complexes because they're like massive giants, almost like the prison system. They just doing too much right now. And but it seems like you have a lot more in this story. So what we'll do is we'll do a part 2 in the near future. And I know you had some pictures and stuff that you wanted to show, so we'll get to that. And hopefully we can find somebody that's able to help. All right.
okay.
All right. Thank you, Mary, for being with us. All right. It's your girl, Kadlac.